This is Brome Bird News, your weekly digest of bird news from around the world. Today is Tuesday, December 29th, and we will talk about chickadees in Alaska and elephants in Africa, rehab centers for birds of prey, European birds and habitats directives, goldfinches thriving from backyard feeding, and Dr. Bird will tell us how fast those birds fly. Why do you feed birds in your backyard? Bird feeding can be much more than just a pleasant way to pass the time. More and more research is showing that backyard bird feeding is helping bird populations grow. The British Trust for Ornithology says the European goldfinch population has increased by 85% over the past 25 years. They have just launched a goldfinch feeding survey that will run until February 2016. Hopefully, they will get enough feedback from local bird lovers to pinpoint exactly what is helping the European goldfinch thrive. This week's question for Dr. Bird is something that we get asked a lot, especially by kids. They want to know how fast a bird can fly.
How fast birds fly has been open to discussion among ornithologists and falconers for years. The best records that I know are the ones that are found in my book, The Bird Almanac. And I have to say the fastest moving bird would be the diving peregrine falcon at anywhere from 260 to 320 kilometers an hour, which would be 160 to 180 miles an hour. A falconer actually jumped out of a plane with a parachute on with his trained falcon and drove alongside of the falcon to get those speeds. The fastest flapping flight would be the white-throated needle-tailed swift, which was clocked at 170 kilometers an hour, roughly 106 miles an hour. But the fastest level flight was clocked with a red-breasted merganser flying alongside a vehicle at a speed of about 160 kilometers an hour. That's about 100 miles an hour. The fastest moving racing pigeon moved along at 110 miles an hour or 177 kilometers an hour. And interestingly, the slowest flying bird in the world is the American woodcock at about 8 kilometers an hour. That's 5 miles an hour. But we have to keep in mind that a lot of these speeds have been recorded in various ways. So you have to keep in mind things like tailwinds and method of measurement. So how accurate they are is open to debate still.
If you have any questions for Dr. David Bird, please write to him on askdrbird@bromebirdcare.com. Have you ever traveled to a different climate and noticed that while you were freezing, everyone else seemed rather comfortable? That's because your metabolism takes time to adapt. A recent study from the University of New Mexico shows us this is how birds and mammals adapt to different climates. The study was done to try and predict the effects of climate change on birds and mammals and ended up explaining how a tiny chickadee can survive an Alaskan winter and an elephant can shrug off the heat of the jungle. Do you have a bird rehab center in your area? Did you know that a lot of these centers are not subsidized by the government, but on the odd occasion they do receive a grant? There are incredible things they can achieve with that. The Alberta Birds of Prey Center, the largest raptor rehabilitation center in Canada, recently received a $749,000 grant from the provincial government. With this money, they're going to restore wetlands within the 70-acre center, improving the natural habitat and providing flood relief for local farmers in the area. Sounds like a win-win to me. So, how do you check Mother Nature's health? Well, in the EU, there is a nature fitness check that allows European countries to keep track of local environmental health. Like so many other environmental initiatives, it isn't receiving the funding it needs. To make sure Mother Nature passes her next fitness check, 13 environment ministers from different countries have joined forces to get more funding and to create better laws to protect the environment. From the 13th to the 17th of January, the 23rd Wings Over Willcox Festival is not just for the birds. With everything from visiting ghost towns to tasting local wines, this festival truly has something for everyone. On top of all these activities, you'll be able to see Mexican jays, Montezuma quails, blue-throated hummingbirds, Arizona woodpeckers, and many more. Last week, we asked you to send us pictures of birds that have something red in or about them. Well, the response was absolutely super. I think we picked this picture of a Bohemian waxwing because it was taken somewhere around our area, but not many of us have actually seen this bird around. So this week's winner of the Squirrel Buster Legacy, the newest addition to the Squirrel Buster family of bird feeders, is Cindy Moynan from Knowlton, Quebec. As for the next week, we would love to see something white. I never thought I would say that, but this year I actually do miss the snow. So send us your pictures and videos to photos@bromebirdcare.com. This is the last episode of Brome Bird News in 2015. Can you believe that this year is almost over? I will see you in 2016. Happy New Year. Have a great party. Have a great celebration. I'll see you later.